Is Mike Zimmer actually on the hot seat heading into next season? Well, according to Bleacher Report, they are saying yes. On Tuesday, Bleacher Report released a piece on the job security of all 32 head coaches in the league. And on Mike Zimmer, it states, the Vikings have been one of the steadier teams in the league during 7 seasons under Mike Zimmer. The club has compiled a 64-47-1 record in that span and won at least 7 games each year. While Zimmer has avoided any abhorrent campaigns, he has just 3 seasons with double-digit wins and has made the playoffs on just 3 occasions, never in consecutive years. During those trips to the postseason, Minnesota has gone just 2-3 and only made it as far as the NFC Championship game once. Those playoff failures, combined with the fact that the team is coming off a mediocre 7-9 campaign, have Zimmer's seat heating up. There hasn't been much to get excited about in the Twin Cities since a 13-3 record and NFC Championship game appearance in 2017, with quarterback Kirk Cousins now set for his 4th year with Minnesota and accounting for a massive $31 million cap hit. The franchise needs to see improvement to justify the investment. If Zimmer doesn't get more out of Cousins and the rest of the roster and the offense doesn't get a bump from new coordinator Clint Kubiak, expect the Vikings to go a different direction. Status is hot. Now, this isn't going to be one of those videos where I'm like, Mike Zimmer, he should be fired and After all, he is the head coach heading into next season, and we have to be fair and give him a chance in 2021. But everything Bleacher Report is saying is everything I've basically been saying for the last 3 years. It's no secret. I've been calling for his job for the last 3 years. The Vikings have been one of the steadier teams in the league during 7 seasons under Mike Zimmer. We can stop right there. If your whole thing, if you're content with, well, Mike Zimmer, he's made us relevant, we're competitive, and hey, we're at least not the Bengals, then, okay, there's nothing to talk about. I'm going to allow you to stay in your lane over there. No arguing that. But for me, it's, and I'm not even in the camp of, well, we don't have a championship in 7 seasons, so Mike Zimmer, screw him. I don't even think that's fair. For me, I just want to see from a coaching standpoint that the Vikings are maximizing their potential, and they haven't. In fact, the last time the season ended, and yeah, you know what? This sucks, but there's a lot of good stuff here to look forward to. The following season was 2015. The Vikings held the Seattle Seahawks in check. In fact, the only reason they lost is because your kicker could not do his job. That's not on the head coach. But since that time, it's been embarrassing. 2016, you started off 5-0. You ended the season 8-8. In a playoff implication game, your team quit against the Indianapolis Colts. 2017, oh my God, 13-3 record, NFC Championship game, #1 defense in the league. Your team gets its doors blown out, 38-7. The Eagles, they went on to win the championship in our stadium. Bro, that should have been us. Fletcher Cox, after the game, after they won the Super Bowl, he said, I think it's safe to say that we own the state of Minnesota. That was so embarrassing. But okay, shit happens. How do you bounce back from adversity? Sometimes I have a bad show. How do you bounce back from that? The 2017 playoffs should have been all the motivation you needed heading into 2018. How did they respond to that? By being non-competitive in a Week 17 game against the Chicago Bears, a win and you're in the playoff scenario. At one point, the Bears, they rested half their starters. 2019, the divisional round against the San Francisco 49ers. The only preparation that Mike Zimmer did for his team, for his Minnesota Vikings, was get his team to board the plane to head to Santa Clara. They were never in that game. But the week before they beat the Saints. Okay, great. 2020, the excuses, man. I've never seen, again, I may seem like I'm worked up about this, but I'm really, really not. The excuses, man, I've never seen in my life, and maybe I could be wrong about this, in any pro team sport, where usually how this works is leadership starts at the top. Responsibility starts at the top with the head coach, and it trickles on downward. With Mike Zimmer, oh my God, when we win, oh, we kiss Mike Zimmer's ass. When we lose, it's never his fault. It's everyone else's fault but the head coach. 2020, COVID. Every team had to deal with COVID. Every team had to deal with virtual off-season workouts because of COVID. But the injuries, the rash of injuries. Okay, every team had to deal with injuries, bro. The San Francisco 49ers, talking about injuries specifically on defense, K'Wan Williams missed 7 games, Ken Webster 6 games, Jimmy Ward 2, Jason Verrett 2, Solomon Thomas 14, Jamar Taylor 6, Jaquiski Tart 9, Richard Sherman 12, Mark Ziocha 11, Emmanuel Mosley 2, Dante Johnson 2, Dre Greenlaw 3, Kevin Givens 2, Ben Garland 10, D Ford 14, Demetrius Flanagan fouls 3, Nick Bosa 14, Ronald Blair 10 games missed. And still, despite all that, the San Francisco 49ers, despite all the injuries, they had the 5th ranked defense in the league in 2020. Enough with the excuses. I watch a lot of John Taffer, Bar Rescue interviews that he does. I'm going to start reading his book soon. Very smart businessman. And he says, enough with the excuses. Enough with the bullshit. Find a solution and make it work. And minus the Saints, because yes, you do have 2 playoff wins against one team. Minus the Saints, in big games, Mike Zimmer never has his Minnesota Vikings team prepared. I just want you to look competitively, consistently in big games. And it hasn't happened. The Minnesota Vikings under Mike Zimmer have basically been an okay team, which is okay if you're okay with being just an okay team. I want more than that, man. That's why I don't care about, the regular season and the plus-minus evaluations. Who wants to talk about sports with graphs and charts and integers? And it's like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. You got to show something. You have to do better. Now, the question is, what does it take if he really is on the hot seat? Because I don't know, man. The Wolves, they may be content with just, we're okay. We're relevant. We're a respectable team. But if he really is on the hot seat, what would it take for him to remain secure beyond 2021? Is it a playoff appearance? Is it 1 playoff win? Is it 2 playoff wins? For me, it's the NFC Championship game. I said that last year. Or is it, you know what? Mike Zimmer, he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he's here forever. Don't ever build the statue of Mike Zimmer right now. I don't know if he's on the hot seat. I'm just reacting to this column by Bleacher Report. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Next podcast is tomorrow. We will see you then.